Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we diving into a topic that makes headlines every few years and sends shockwaves through Washington: the US government shutdown. But what exactly is a government shutdown? How does it happen? And most importantly, what does it mean for you, your wallet, and the broader American economy? By the end of this video, you will understand the mechanics of government shutdowns, their immediate and long-term economic impacts, and why this political standoff affects everyone, from federal workers to Wall Street investors to everyday Americans planning their next vacation. Let's break it down. First, let's establish the basics. A government shutdown occurs when Congress fails to pass funding legislation to finance federal government operations and agencies. Here's how it works. The U.S. government operates on a fiscal year that runs from October 1st to September 30th. Congress is responsible for passing 12 appropriations bills to fund various government agencies and programs. When they cut and agree on these spending bills, or even a temporary funding measure called a continuing resolution, non-essential government operations halt. It's important to note that not everything stops. Essential services continue operating. This includes national security operations, air traffic control, law enforcement, emergency medical care, and social security payments. However, the employees providing these services may work without pay until the shutdown ends. Non-essential services? Those get furloughed. We're talking about national parks, museums, certain regulatory agencies, portions of the IRS, and various administrative functions across federal departments. The key question during any shutdown is, how long will it last? And that brings us to the economic implications. When the government shuts down, the economic effects are felt almost immediately, though they start small and compound over time. Let's talk about federal workers. Approximately 2 million federal employees face uncertainty. During shutdowns, hundreds of thousands are furloughed without pay, while others deemed essential must work without knowing when their next paycheck will arrive. While federal workers typically receive back pay after shutdowns end, the immediate cash flow problems affect their ability to pay mortgages, car loans, and everyday expenses. This leads to reduced consumer spending. Those 2 million workers and their families delay major purchases, cut back on dining out, and tighten their budgets. This ripple effect impacts local businesses, especially in areas with high concentrations of federal employees like Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. Then there are the government contractors. Here's what many people don't realize: government contractors often don't receive back pay. These private sector workers supporting federal operations face genuine financial hardship, and their employers may have to lay people off or reduce hours. Finally, business confidence takes a hit. Uncertainty is the enemy of business investment. When shutdowns occur, companies hesitate to make major decisions. They delay hiring, postpone expansion plans, and adopt a wait-and-see approach. This business paralysis slows economic growth. Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Every day of a shutdown shaves money off GDP, economic. Analysts estimate that shutdowns can cost billions of dollars in lost economic output. The 35-day shutdown from December 2018 to January 2019, the longest in U.S. history, cost the economy an estimated $11 billion, according to the Congressional Budget Office, with $3 billion of that being permanent losses. Wall Street doesn't like uncertainty either. During shutdown threats and actual shutdowns, stock markets often experience increased volatility. Investors worry about political dysfunction, reduced government spending, and the potential for broader economic disruption. While markets typically recover after shutdowns end, the turbulence creates anxiety for anyone with retirement accounts or investment portfolios. Small businesses suffer in multiple ways. Those with government contracts face payment delays. Businesses that rely on federal services, like loan processing from the Small Business Administration, see operations grind to a halt. Tourism-dependent businesses near national parks watch their revenue disappear when parks close. Extended shutdowns also raise questions about U.S. government functionality. While a shutdown doesn't directly affect the national debt, the political dysfunction it represents has, in the past, contributed to credit rating agencies downgrading U.S. debt or threatening to do so. Different sectors of the economy feel shutdowns in different ways. In real estate and housing, mortgage approvals slow down significantly. The IRS can't verify tax returns for lenders, and other government verification services halt. This delays home purchases and refinancing. In agriculture, Farmers depend on government services for loans, crop insurance, and market data. Shutdowns during critical planting or harvesting seasons create serious problems. For travel and tourism, national park closures cost gateway communities millions in lost tourism revenue. Museums, monuments, and federal attractions shutting down affects hotels and restaurants. In technology and innovation, government research grants stop flowing. Scientific research funded by federal agencies pauses. This affects universities, research institutions, and technology companies. And in aviation, while air traffic controllers continue working, other FAA functions stop. This can delay aircraft certifications, pilot licenses, and airport improvement projects, all of which have longer-term economic implications. Beyond the immediate impacts, government shutdowns create lasting economic damage. When government workers return after furloughs, there's a backlog of work. Processing delays for everything from patents to permits to tax refunds can persist for months, slowing economic activity long after the shutdown ends. There's also brain drain. Repeated shutdowns damage the federal government's ability to attract and retain talent. Skilled workers seek more stable employment elsewhere, reducing government effectiveness over time. America's economic leadership depends partly on perceptions of political stability. Frequent shutdowns signal dysfunction to international partners, investors, and competitors. This can affect everything from trade negotiations to foreign investment in U.S. assets. And finally, multiple shutdowns or shutdown threats within a short period create cumulative damage. Business planning becomes harder, consumer confidence erodes, and the overall economic environment becomes more uncertain. So who really bears the cost of government shutdowns? Low-income federal workers and contractors suffer most immediately. They're reliving paycheck to paycheck and can't absorb missed payments. Small businesses without cash reserves struggle more than large corporations. Communities economically dependent on federal facilities or national parks see disproportionate impacts. But ultimately, every American pays. Lower GDP growth means fewer jobs created and slower wage growth. Reduced government efficiency affects everyone who needs government services. And the tax dollars spent on shutdown-related inefficiencies and back pay come from all of us. The political calculations that lead to shutdowns may seem abstract, but the economic consequences are very real and measured in dollars, jobs, and opportunities lost. Government shutdowns aren't just political theater in Washington. They re-economic events with real consequences for American families, businesses, and the broader economy. From federal workers missing paychecks to businesses facing uncertainty to the overall drag on economic growth, shutdowns create ripple effects throughout the economy. Understanding these impacts helps us appreciate why fiscal responsibility and political compromise aren't just nice ideals. They're economic necessities. What do you think about government shutdowns? Have you or someone you know been affected by one? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content breaking down complex economic topics. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.